Oh, I have been unleashed. You don't even know. You don't even know. You don't even know. You don't even know. We got a lot of bugs. We got a lot to cover in the community. We went from this to this. We got Aaron number one, the bug hunter of the week. You don't even know what happened in the last 3 days. A lot has been going on in the life of Charles. A lot has been going on in the life of Charles. A lot has been going on in the community. It's great to see. Charles, what are you building? Well, why don't you look at the screen there, buddy? All right, we got a lot to cover today. We have a brand new feature. Easy, small, but it's a poll. We got a poll. Feed input. When I create a new feed, select a poll, remove it instantly, abort the process, create a post. Hint, for the post, input goes crazy like it started. Hey-o. All right, let's go working on. We got a lot to work on today. Why is it a big stream, by the way? There is so much happening parallel right now. You got Boatenston charging forward. You got the community charging forward. You got the world charging forward. Everybody is in chaos right now. The Long Island Railroad, I'm stuck on Long Island because labor unions want to be labor unions. And that affects almost 300,000 people. It's the biggest. So why do I have this up, by the way? Look at this comment. Bruh. I'm going to be real with you. Opus 4.5 was on another level. And after using Quen, it ain't even close. If Mythos is just 4.5 without guardrails and a better RAG system, they ain't catching up. So you're saying, let me pull that down. So what you're saying is that the Chinese models are as good as American closed source. Is that what you're saying? Weird. What did I say Friday, ladies and gentlemen? You gotta piece this together. Everything, all of the news, everything is connected. Everything is a web. I will make sense of the web. That is what we're building. That is the community we're building. We are building people. When I was on the beach this weekend, I said, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe this. I put my shoeies away. I had my toes in the ocean. Granted, it was negative 10 degrees. However, I was thinking about all the things. Mark Benioff, the Salesforce guy, the guy that got me into actually coding because I said, why do I need Salesforce? Oh my gosh, that's weird. So he's using AI to scan employees. Then you got all this disruption when it comes to data centers. Everyone's getting booed. Eric Schmidt's getting booed at his commencement speech because of AI. I'm telling you, people. Jensen Huang! Jensen, what happened? Trump, what happened? You went to China. You're supposed to get all these deals, and then Friday the futures went bah. Why is that? It's all connected. The futures dip as NVIDIA earnings loom. Oh, Charles, what does this mean? I am going to piece all of this together for you, okay? This is more than vibe coding. This is how the world operates, okay? We are building the community so people can get off of... All right, we'll start from the beginning. There's people that we'll never be in the rooms with. And if you exit that room, you will see St. Peter. That's the best way to say it. If you exit that room, you are Princess Diana, unfortunately. That's how it operates because it is not of God. All right? I don't want to bring that up, but that's what happens. When they went to China, allegedly, my opinion. Okay, the reason I'm screaming at the top of my lungs is because I am not in New York City and no one in the office can yell at me for saying, shut up, you're talking too loud. But this is the thing. These people are all in the same room, okay? The Walmarts, the NVIDIAs, the Oracles, the Larry Ellison, Zuckerberg, they're all in the same room, Okay, and they all went to China and they said, oh, wow, you actually have amazing robotics. Let's turn down the music. I could barely hear let's turn this down a little bit. Okay, I could barely hear myself think, even though I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, and the neighbors will probably yell at me. Anyway, there is a class of people that you and I will never meet. And there is no right and left at that point, okay? So stop thinking right and left, okay? That is completely dismembered, okay? They understand that China has amazing robotics, amazing cars, amazing open source, amazing chips. They have rare earth materials. They have everything. They have what Elon is doing, which is vertical integration. They have the rare earth all the way to the top. And then obviously Boeing, to satisfy shareholders, sells them our best jets, okay? Bravo. Now they're going to take and reverse engineer and then sell it to Europe, South America, Asia, and everything else, okay? Because Airbus didn't do anything. But Boeing says, hey, listen, take our Dreamliner. Take our Dreamliner, reverse engineer it in 10 years, and now China's playing the long game. It's what Japan was supposed to be doing in the 90s. Japan owned all of the electronics, all of it. And then bottoms up, Sony, Panasonic, everything. Why is this happening? They're blaming it on NVIDIA. It's not NVIDIA. It's that China said, I'm not doing deals with you. I'm not doing deals with you. Xi Jinping said, thanks for coming, Elon. Secretary of Treasury. Jensen, thanks for coming by. Meta came there, Boeing came, everybody came there. And then they said, yeah, we're not going to do a deal. Friday, the futures, as it says right here, tanked. Okay? Why? Because what they understand is that in America, we are going to be having huge amounts of AI pushback. Huge amounts. Okay? Eric Schmidt, everyone starts booing. Okay? Weird, because there was also another booing somewhere. I can't find, here we go, another booing across the United States. So you have parallel things happening right now. You have people who will never be in the rooms of Jensen and Trump and everyone else. Okay? And they want to create this barrier of chaos in between. That's what it comes down to. This community is essentially going to be people who understand they can do and build anything they want, but the problem is that this is not being expressed because they are building data centers where people don't want data centers. Understandable. So they're using this whole distraction. Meanwhile, in China, what they're saying is, oh, okay, if this is the future, and if we are to take over the world, then we need to do certain things. Have the best open source, the best robotics, the best planes, the best cars, the best drones, okay? And then they went over and they said, hey, listen, we understand that that's actually what's happening in China. Could we do some deals? No deals happened. 500 jets were bought, and that makes the news. 500 Boeing jets. You fly 20 CEOs of the Fortune 50 into China, and then you get 50 jets. That's what happens. There was chaos in the streets. The mortgage rates. I'm in real estate. This is my world. What's up, G? Still in the Airbnb. We are listen, unions were needed in the late 1800s, okay? They're not needed now. I looked it up. Or actually, no, I didn't look it up. I went to the Long Island Railroad, and I was like, this is disgusting. You have people that their life depends on 300, almost 300, it's the largest commuter train in the United States, okay? 300,000 people, almost 300,000 people use it every single day, okay? That's crazy. That's an insane amount of people. You're talking about doctors, attorneys, lawyers, servers, cooks, musicians, like just the unfathomable amount of jobs. They said $61 million a day is lost per day. So you're hitting, what, day 300, almost $200 million lost. Do you know what they make on average? It was like the Long Island Railroad said that the people that are on strike make on average like $121,000 or $130,000 on average. Not the median, on average. The average is usually below the median, which is crazy to think about. And then on top of that, they get it was like $30,000 to $40,000 on average on overtime. All right. So we added in the poll. We added in a couple new features. This week, we are hardening the community. We are getting people that are joining. We are getting people that are saying, hey, dude, I want to be a part of this. Obviously, last week we had an attack. So we're adding. Weird. Good bug. Good bug. Good bug. Let's go working on. So we are going to hit. There's something called critical mass. You have I was going to say wave function collapsing. That's physics. But you have. So this is the poll. I think the poll is going to be good, and I think games are going to be good. I like that. The feature requests are going through the roof right now. Through the roof. I had to harden a bunch of things that were broken in the feature requests. So join the community. Right now it's free. And this week, when I was at the beach, I said, why am I was going to say, anytime I see, dude, I don't know what it is with cats and like zoomed in. Maybe because nobody understands cats at all. But yeah, I was also thinking, I don't know if I want to keep that. I think that's, we'll leave it for now. Just talking out loud. Just talking out loud. Just talking out loud. This week, it is hardening the build. We are going to hit a critical, where we're going like this. It's not going to be the hockey stick right now, but there's people that are coming in, joining. YouTube is understanding what's going on. I'm also thinking about like, if I'm getting yelled at work and I can't yell at the top of my lungs. When I was at the beach this weekend, it was packed. It was packed. And I looked around and I'm like, these people are going to be in the streets in like 12 months. Is that restarting the server? Nope. That's going after the polls. Critical mass is when the star reaches the mass necessary to collapse into a black hole. Is that what Interstellar was about? Is that what Interstellar was about? That took way too long. That took way too long. So you have, everyone has seen it. You have the tails on either end. It's a news story. The best way is to say it's a news story. A news story is videoed, then it goes out publicly to 30, 40 people, and now the people don't like data centers, right and left, don't really like data centers. Now you have Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google, who's going out giving commencement speeches. Now it's hitting the critical mass of the public. What is this? Why is this happening? Am I going to lose my job? I have no idea what's going on. Our government doesn't care about us. Boo. Boo. Mark Benioff, he's looking at everyone's Slack messages. You have Zuck, who is doing everyone's key clicks and everything else, training their AI models so they could fire people, Becky from marketing, Bill from accounting. So they don't have to have as many people. They literally are laying off 7,000 people, I think yesterday or today, Meta was. Then you have the futures dipping. You have the mortgage rates. Thank God I'm not like 100%. I still need deals to stay alive right now. But I'm telling you right now, is people will not buy. People are not ready to put down 20%, 6% in financing and understand that they also have to buy groceries and gas. I was at the gas station this weekend. The guy to my left was, you know what I noticed as well? There was a very interesting comment. But I noticed is that Claude Code will randomly just stop. It will just stop. All right, let's click around the build. We got a lot we need to harden. We need a lot we need to harden right now. We'll go over the news in a second, but I'm telling you right now, I think people when that phrase, you're gonna you're going to own nothing and like it or something, whatever that phrase was, by 2030. That's going to happen sooner. Number two is Musk said that self-driving cars are going to be on every road in the city in 2026. Excuse me. That is a bold, this is dead. See, this is what I'm talking about. It just stops working. It just stops working. It's so weird. This happened like maybe 8 to 10 times. It just stops working. Because the poll, to read, 700 lines, doesn't take that amount of time. Does not take that amount of time. But we have to do a couple of things. We also added comments to the articles. Oh, wow. Did you take this away? Well, that's not good. Let's refresh this. Okay, the pivot's working. So I was hardening the pivot. We also added in comments just for members, though. So go hit this out. It's still the same comment system that is in the members area. So you can obviously bookmark. So what happened? Let's see if that reposted. The video starts playing with volume. I don't know if I like that. That did not repost. That's a reply. Let's do a test here. So we got to look into that. Why are there no articles? Find out why they were actually deleted. By the way, someone made a very interesting comment. They said, what if Mythos is not real? It's just a marketing ploy, because they have all these weird, like everyone in the government is talking about it. Everyone in the government is talking about it. It's very strange. It's very strange. Let's go over here. Claude is consistently, I have 3 releases daily. Yeah, I don't know why Claude is, and it's really weird because OpenAI, Sam Altman won the case, which obviously that's going to happen. You know, Sam Altman is literally, it's going through it right now. Look at this. Okay, it did continue. Acknowledged. Yeah, I know. Let me continue. It's so weird. It's so weird. This happened in the last 5 days. I think they're just either getting attacked. There's got to be attacks going on because Claude has never been this way. Claude has never been this way. See, there you go. Perfect example. Live on camera, just stops. This is exactly what happens. Exactly what happens. And then it just stops. It says it's thinking, but it stops. Customize the Claude code to be fully automated with huge workflows. Look at this. This is crazy. This is crazy. Do I have to go back to Claude? That was interesting that someone in the comments said that Quen, Supercharger spreadsheets, get out of here. Get out of here. You know what I noticed? Oh, I'm in the wrong one. I gotta log in. Yeah, let's do that down here. You know what I noticed? If you are not beholden to a location, then you are essentially free, but you have to build a complete moat around everything. Your lifestyle, where you live, your body, your mind, your family. Because when you're in a city and everything, holy cow, dude, nothing, what is going on? Do I have to restart? Dude, this is 2 chats that just stopped. This literally happened this whole weekend. It just stops. It just stops. And then it will stop again. And it was so frustrating because I was doing a massive build and then it just stopped. Continue. It stopped. And I'm like, you have to finish this build so you can commit this. But what I thought about this weekend, I looked around, the beach was packed. By the way, there's a lot of overweight people. Like, let's call a spade a spade. It was disgusting. it was embarrassing, to be honest. Because I'm not around like the suburbs that much, but it was bad. It was bad. I looked around. I'm like, how do you function day to day? Do you wake up and just sit all day and not? Do you just eat? It's two things. It's what you eat, and you got to move. You got to move. Like, I don't have breakfast. That's my fast. And break fast is breaking your fast. That's breakfast. And if you read about fasting, that's what everyone did until like the 1300s, 1400s. And then it started to get closer, and then breakfast randomly was now 9 o'clock. All right, this is disgusting. This is not what we signed up for. The stream. You know what I noticed and what my pivot today is going to be about? My pivot today is going to be about consistency. It was so hard to go live today. It was so, see, now it's going to start working. It was, and then this one stops. It's not actually thinking. It's not actually thinking. Unless it is. Unless it is. We're going to see what's going on. This is disgusting. Check in your thinking levels. That's on purpose. Is it actually thinking though? Because I've had ones for thinking for like 15 minutes. Is it actually thinking? Are they doing that because they don't want to run up the context window? And if Mythos or if Claude 4.7 Fast, which was like $250 per prompt on the Bridgemind guys, I cannot be more excited for the future when you break out of the thinking of New York City, where you're not beholden to clients that are you're just like sitting in a box, and you can't think properly, you can't say properly, you can't piece things together properly. This has to work. This has to work. I can't go back to New York City. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I need the freedom to be able to have my wife and kids at home that I don't have. And like, she feels protected and secure financially. But also the freedom in public to just say what you want is freeing. That's probably what it was forever. Because think about it, forever, the only things you did, like monetary was not, the accumulation of wealth was not a thing. Accumulation of goods was not a thing. This is all brand new. This whole thing about revolving life around capital, your labor is capital, is brand new. They weren't deleted, they were never published. Okay. There is a CRON job or something that happens when I go live and articles are written. I want you to run that, find out where it is, and then run it for the last time I went live. Yeah, see, it's not, I don't think it's working. And by the way, that takes way too long. Mac Whisper is taking way too long. Way too long. See? It says continuing, or it says thinking, but it's not going to think. It doesn't do anything. I've had it sit there for 10, 15 minutes. It's crazy. How do I check my thinking level? Man, this weekend, yesterday, the whole thing beholden to the railroads really got me thinking. Really got me. It's like, where do you want to live? What do you want to do? How do you want to go live? Do you want to, everything is, there is so much money I have tied to New York City. So much money. My expenses are so high. Just, between the railroads, between the office space, between everything. And it's like, I don't know if I want to. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that wasn't spilling anything there, buddy. Yeah, I don't want to be beholden to Mark Benioff reading my messages through AI and being like, what is this guy talking about in private messages? Elon Musk this week might be filing for his IPO after he just lost the lawsuit. Obviously, he's going to lose it. People are, not going to be buying as much. They're not going to be putting down 20%. They don't have the 20%. I also think that people actually doing activities is going to go down as well. When I saw what was happening at the beach, you had a bunch of young guys throwing footballs and things like that, but there were so many people who went to the beach sitting in the sun and just sitting on their phone. There was like the amount of talking they were together, friends were together, family was together, but everyone was on their phone. Everyone was on their phone. It was disgusting. My phone was in the car. I was like, this is, by the way, they're going to try and blame it on NVIDIA and everything else. No. This is the spin, by the way, boys. That's the spin. All right. Relaunched. That's going. We need to harden iCharles. All right. And look at the feature requests. I see that there are good ideas. What I'm thinking for the games is, let's ask right now. Are there any open source games where members play each other, whether it's chess, checkers, Othello, Battleship, that we don't actually do it, but do research where they can invite each other and play against each other? And it would be one menu option on the left side called Games. They click on it, and then they have a multitude of options, and they can play each other in games, whether it's 2-player or single-player games. Maybe have Game Boy, or what was that? Where they threw the oh my gosh, Letter Boy? What was that game? Where they played, where you'd throw the letter into each other's. Oh, not Letter Boy. Game Boy was where it was on, and then the dog would chase you, or you'd have to go around like sewers. That was such a fun game. Such a fun game. All right, let's go through what you boys and girls want. So I am a little hesitant about this. I also, within each of them, I had it, so sounds reasonable. Yeah, that would be nice. The issue I have is people sending malicious stuff. That's the only thing. This is a good idea, actually, where you have one account essentially testing all of the things, because we're going to use points in the future. Points will be used to get half a month off next month, things like that. Because this community, I'm telling you, is about to hum. The last 3 days have been a huge thinking session. What's going on, Fort Zoll? By the way, the playoffs are in full swing right now. Playoffs? They're blocking the people customize. Yep, start a new session. Okay. Effort. And let's see. Effort. I think it's on medium. Okay. Anyone know any open source games? All right. This was getting the... Okay, this was getting... So we have 3 areas we're going to attack. First is YouTube, where I'm going to put out individual videos. The third is AEO, which is Answer Engine Optimized. So that's for AI to bring in the articles. SEO, which is also in the same game. That's obviously search optimization. So it's videos on YouTube, the search engines, and then the consistent live streams where, you know, I thought about it. I'm like, I'm not going to have Bridge Mind's size, probably. You know, he's getting 20,000 views because he's deep into AI. You know, he's testing models, he's working with testing the models. I'm not going to be, let's see the single player on Grok. Oh my gosh, I can't believe Opus 5 came out. Let's test it and let's see if it could build, you know, Salesforce, and let's see the prompt, the exact same prompt. Holy cow, guys, I can't believe it. What about Cursor? That's not going to be me. That's not me. I'm also not going to be the other guy that's got a full head of hair who took my video and took the other guy's push-up counter. That's a hybrid. You know, he's got a family, by the way, so no hate on that guy. And you know, he's a handsome fella, so good for him. And we need more people going out and showing that it's possible. So I'm not gonna be talking about that. I think this community is gonna be like probably like 1,000 hardcore brainiacs that they just don't fit in with society. They just don't fit in with society. That's really what it comes to. Like the people that go to class and they're like, yeah, that kid, I don't know, it's weird. He like, for me, I was just too curious. I'm the guy that goes to museums and everyone's like, dude, stop asking so many questions. Dude, okay, yeah, we already know about TR. You could buy a book and learn about it. It's in the bookstore. Stop asking. I went to TR's, was it Theodore Roosevelt's house? That guy was an absolute maniac. In the best kind of way. Best kind of way. Absolute maniac. He was the first guy that just like, actually no, it was probably Abraham Lincoln. That's why they took him out. Well, actually no, it was probably the Benjamin Franklin. Well, they weren't really Christian, but maybe some of them were. But they fought the largest empire in the world. That's pretty bold of them, you know? They're like, I think all of them died. They all got executed. I think. All the signers? I think so. Except, what's his name? Benjamin Franklin? He wrote his own Bible? That's a little prideful. We don't know where he is right now. That's a little prideful. But these are going to be like the renegades. The Steve Jobs, I've been going in hardcore looking at some of the Steve Jobs videos. That guy was an absolute... There's a video which called him out. They called him out on the Siri purchase. Obviously, Tim Cook messed that up. He wasn't a product guy. He was a guy that pushed the ball forward and really didn't invent anything except for these guys. This is the only product he launched. He didn't launch anything else, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, it's going to be the people that in class, everyone's like friends with, like the guy, big partier. That was me. You know, this guy is always going to bring fun, but he's also this weird intellectual guy that likes to read books and like get better in personal development. All right, let's look at this. Done. Pipeline ran successfully for day 28. What happened? 2 notes. The curl returned empty reply because it was restarting. The YouTube SEO pushback on the video failed. Got it. Of course. Yeah. Vibe coding. To publish the new draft, open that, review the body. I'm saying, are you happy with the answer engine optimized and SEO on that article? All right, so I think they're talking about the pivot. I'm not talking about the pivot. I'm talking about vibe coding. Hello? Hello? Claude, are we home today? Are we home? Did you take the day off? Also, why are we talking about the pivot? I was talking about vibe coding article. Are they talking about both? Holy cow, 4,500 characters. 2,500 character generated. I spoke 143,000 characters in the caption. Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, that's wild. See, this guy, why do I have to push you forward? Okay, good. All right, bottom line, path to boardgame.io is the right call. 1 server, 1 lobby, 1 identity, native iCharles styling, 6 to 10 games. All right, anyone play this? Boardgame.io? Is that free? It better be free. We're in the world of building. Let's see. Okay. Wow. This is open source? MIT? What? Dude, this is what I'm saying. I was talking about with my cousin. He's a very smart guy, and he's very high up in his organization. Very smart guy. I love having intellectual conversations. He's probably out of my family, he is the most curious of the world that I connect with. Obviously, all my cousins are great. I'm very close with my family. but we were coming back from my niece's confirmation and we were talking about it in his car. And I was saying, there's so much money in these endowment funds that places like MIT is going to become probably, or they should become a 503, I think it's called a 503c, where you're a private benefit corporation. I think that's what it is. In other words, you have shareholders. You have shareholders, but what you're doing is a benefit for society. So you're not a nonprofit, but you're a for-profit, but you're a benefit for society. And you're not a pure profit engine, which is corporation. So it's like an in-between. It's like a hybrid. And I said, why don't you have a MIT investing within their students and things like that? So he brought up that there's a college, I think in Texas, and want me to dig into this? Yeah, don't ask me. You mean Max? Is it called Max? So he was saying that there's a college in Texas that essentially has a WeWork style. No, it wasn't Texas, it was somewhere in the South. And it was like a well-known college too. It was like UVA or something like that, where anyone, students, alumni can come there for free, and essentially you can use, it's like a Y coordinate or Y, what is it called? I don't know. It's like a pipeline for entrepreneurs, and they invest in them, and you can work there, you can do whatever you want. It's all free. It's on the college. And the college invests in some of the businesses, and they make money from the businesses once it starts making money. And I'm like, every college should do that. You have these billion-dollar endowment funds. Dude, use the endowment fund and help out your alumni. Stop having stupid little meetup and alumni events and all this other nonsense. It's like, dude, invest in your alumni. Because, by the way, colleges, they're not going to be a thing. I was at an alumni association for my college. I went to a crappy school in Pennsylvania. It was the best 4 years of my life. 5 years. Best 4.5, 5 years of my life. And it was everything. It was everything. It was the greatest 4.5, 5 years of my life. Playing rugby, being in a fraternity, it was unbelievable. And I was at an alumni event like 10 years ago. And I was talking with the alumni director, and he's like, yeah, by the way, schools are going to be closing all over the place because what they're looking at is the amount of births, and they can essentially track. So he said there's a huge gap from 18 to like 12 right now, and then from 12 to 6 there's a spike, and then from 6 to 0 ages it's like a collapse. So they can track the birth rate of who's going to be going into schools, and there's like all these sophisticated algorithms that people can say, oh, okay, let's do it. Let's prepare for this. Schools are going to be collapsing all over the place. All over the place. Small towns are going to be collapsing. Everyone's going to be going to a large city. And then people are going to be in chaos. They're like, I grew up in this small town, and everyone's leaving. It's kind of like the Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is now having a rejuvenation. All those like Ohio, all those like steel mills, steel towns, oil and gas in Texas. It's going to be a wild time the next 5-6 years. All right. So they said, have you ever heard of boardgames.io? Love to know your thoughts on what I just said, by the way. Because I don't go online. I don't look at micro things. That was my whole live on Friday that got I had no volume on it. And I went deep into micro trends that lead to macro thinking. You have to have macro thinking. Macros, what does this mean? Why are they telling me Jensen Huang is having noodles in China when they should be actually doing deals in China? Is it a fun trip? Okay, let's put this out to the public that it's fun, it's engaging. Jensen, I can't believe that he's going viral for, eating noodles. The futures tank on Friday. So obviously word got back to the United States that nothing happened, that there was probably a contentious meeting because Elon wasn't happy, probably because they all said that really nothing happened. China's at the point where they're like, yeah, try us. And in the United States, we're booing people, understandably, for Eric Schmidt bringing it up, all the commencement speech. Man, it's way different. In one word, do you believe that BoardGame.io is the best call and we can bring people in that are only members and they can play each other? Also, give me a list of 6 to 10 of the games. Like, what I'm trying to do in this community is say, okay, this is the news, this is how it affects you. Yes, you could build whatever you want, and we're going to talk about it in the members area. And then I'm also not beholden, thank God now, to New York City thinking, which is stay in line, don't say anything that's chess checkers, Othello, Connect 4, tic-tac-toe, Battleship. All right. Nine men's Morris? What the heck is that? You're supposed to use the nerd voice.
Hello, fellas.
I forgot who I was telling this weekend. Oh my gosh, dude. It is so funny. It is so funny. It's so freeing to walk around society and everyone is so mad. No one's smiling. And it's strange. It's strange. Understandable, though. Understandable. Okay, I want you to think of the best way to implement this, where members can invite other members. There could be a lobby or a waiting room. There's also a points system, so who has the most points per game, the most wins, things like that. You know what? Should I just build it and then do that? Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's just... also dating. You know, dating is so different now. It is so different from when I grew up. You know, I'm getting more likes now than ever. I feel like a girl that's 25. It's really, you know, when a girl that's 25 in New York City gets everything she wants. New York Knicks, Yankees, Broadway, courtside seats, box seats. This is playing at MSG. The ticket's $1,000. You know, come do it. The Hamptons are coming up. Montauk. It's a, you know, let's go to Stagecoach. Let's go to Burning Man. And I'm out here like...
Hi, my name is Charles Boatson. I'd like to take you out on a date, and would you like to go out with me, huh?
When I was 25, I was getting crushed. I was getting crushed by the 30-year-old men. Anyway, the vibe coding pipeline is missing the entire AEO finalization step that the pivot pipeline has. Not a single, its entire pass. Yes, I want you to ship that. Also, backlinks are very important. So there has to be within the process a scan of other articles that could potentially be linked within that article to other pivot or vibe coding articles. And make sure that's for the pivot and for vibe coding. And to make sure that the link opens in a new window and it's obviously linked and not some weird HTML that shows up on the article. Critical mass. I actually never knew that. I never knew that. Yeah, I knew a lot of them. I think I already told this story, but I was invited, someone I went to school with, I was 22. And once you graduate college, the girls that you knew just don't talk to you anymore. They're like, okay, you're fun, but now money matters and, you know, getting access to clubs matter. And this one girl was like, oh, I was invited and he canceled, but I still have the ticket. Can you go? And it was this wildly expensive thing during Fashion Week. And I didn't even know this game existed, because when you are ignorant to all this, when you're a man, you don't understand the levels of access that these girls have. So it was Fashion Week at this dress company. I walked in and I went over, I was like, I've never heard of this dress company. And I turned over the tag. The dress was $10,000. The dress was a silk dress that would probably be $80 at Macy's. It was $10,000. I was like, oh wow, Okay. So we had access past the outside velvet rope. There was 2 floors to the store. We got past the velvet rope. Then we went upstairs, which was another velvet rope. And then we were next to the DJ, which was, what's her name? Who's the very popular girl that's married to Jay-Z? Whatever her name is. Forgot her name. Her sister is a DJ. We were in there. It was like a billionaire Mrs. Universe of that year. It was like the who's who. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to be here. This is crazy. Wow, how much was this ticket? How much, if it was $10,000 a dress, who is this girl dating? It's wild. It's wild. But those games are done now, unfortunately. iCharles implementation plan. All right, let's do it. Have at it. Do the hardest, highest priority first. Spin up as many agents as you need to make sure that this is done perfectly. Make no mistakes. Dude, I don't think you understand how fun Othello is. Othello is a very fun game. Yeah, I have so many people that I'm on a couple of apps, but like this girl messaged me who I met at a meeting. I was looking at my mic. I'm like, was my mic not? That's my other mic. She's like, oh, I saw you're going to this the trivia night thing. I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I'm in charge of it. Which group do you want to go into? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, and I noticed later she was kind of saying like, can we be in the same group? That's. She's clearly not saying, hey, listen, by the way, I dropped my handkerchief, pick it up, give it to me, I was asking you out kind of thing. Oh gosh, Charles. Oh gosh. All right, let's go, boys. We need to harden the product. Community polls, that's in progress. We could probably say completed. Let's go to most liked. All right. That is gonna be probably a no. That should be a no. I'll consider it, but that's probably a no. Summarize with AI. I know my boy, James Bond. By the way, personally, I think one of the best James Bonds. Pierce Brosnan. Dude, that guy has aura that is not even of this world. Just absolute. Him in that movie with Rene Russo, one of the best movies of how men were forever. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Rene Russo 25 times. It was like a Catch Me If You Can, but for rich people. Just unbelievable ending too. She was incredible as well. She should have won everything on that. She was incredible. Pull to refresh on the feed. Yeah, we got hard in the mobile. The mobile is terrible. Okay, this is the 100 million points. We'll say we're considering that. The points is people pay with their points. Huh, is this new? Did you hear about Tim Dillon's costume problems? No, yeah, he definitely had Riz. What's going on, Amired? Dude, Tim Dillon he's exactly what the doctor ordered. Just a complete, just make fun of everybody. That was like, what's his name? What's his name was on Tucker Carlson. I don't really watch because I don't watch politics because it's all just a bunch of nonsense. But they had a guy called Owen Benjamin. I guess that guy was essentially probably the best way to put comedy. You have to make fun of everybody. Like everybody, he was talking about like veterans and just like everything. And it's like, because if you're a protected class from comedy, then it's essentially saying that you don't have the skin to take it. And that is a good way to put it. I never heard of it that way. Things people can pay with points. I think I've heard of them. I don't go online that much, to be honest. I just want my own thinking. People pay with points for their profile flair. Huh. Separate button tab. Okay. Accent color when visiting user's profile. Music auto playing when visiting paying for points for 5 to 6 custom-defined user text colors, cool animations on username like lightning. See, this is MySpace. This is MySpace. Users can open their own spaces. However, the price to pay in points is incredibly big, so only the best can actually have access to it. I was actually thinking for spaces that people can request their own spaces. Their own spaces down here. You know? Yeah. Yeah, I think this needs to be built out a little bit more. I think that needs to be built out a little bit more. Beyond views, okay, so this is, you know, this is like advancement. This is advanced. That's advanced. You know, where you have advanced post analytics. I like how Aaron actually gives it, because it gives it like a good prompt. Hold the refresh. That I definitely summarize with AI. So this is actually that's a good idea. If, I don't know what the heck, whoa. This is still a bug. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that. I did not notice that. All right. Are we still, all right. See, now it's probably, okay, come on. Come on, boys. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I do have to get in the dating arena though. There's like so many girls that I need to go on a date with that I said I was going to go on a date with. They're like, here's my number, let's go out. And I have Bryant Park. Bryant Park is a great date spot. Granted, you know, I had a girl that said, when are you going to send the car? I was like, I think we're done here. I think we're done here. That's not what we're doing here. Send the car both ways. Yeah, no, I don't think so. We are not meant for each other. Wish you the best of luck. Send a car. If you look at the comment, this is an ongoing bug. Make sure you fix it. Let's go down here. Nerd Voice, full time. Yeah, you know who actually did it? Mark Miller. Mark Miller. Yeah, Mark Miller. You're now in the, you got approved. You're now in the actual company. By the way, the video is now playing finally. I would not, allegedly, my opinion, not investment advice, but there was a guy that was betting against NVIDIA. It was very weird. It was very weird. He was a ex-NVIDIA or something, and he's close to a billionaire, and it was weird. Seeing that news story was very weird, that he is actually betting against, which he's obviously placing future bets that it's gonna collapse. It was a very weird story to say. See, I don't care about, you know, the political side of this. I just care about what is happening with all of the people who are in this class and what they're doing. And it'll be very interesting when that one person it'll be interesting what happens with Russia, Iran, and China. Those are the three countries that are very interesting right now. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Japan, feel bad for Japan, man. Feel bad. Their population is aging out of control. Their companies are not on the global scale like they used to be. Nobody's dating, nobody's getting married. Everyone's like dating a robot. It's like, no one's like clamoring to go to Japan. You know, that's the only good thing about the United States is they are clamoring to come to the United States. The issue is that you're going to have a huge population that's just going to get completely run over by AI. Completely run over. This is what I'm talking about. It just stops. It just stops. Or it's slow. Something is going on at Anthropic. Their servers are not, they used to be humming. They used to be humming. It's so weird. All I'm asking is to investigate the articles, to make it AEO, to make it successful, so it's picked up by Google, Perplexity, things like that. Obviously, it's probably not going to be, because it's going to know that it was written by AI and not like something else. Barclays, I haven't heard that in a while. Yeah, it'll be very interesting, because everyone's talking about the dollar being on one coin. That's what the people who run the world want. Everything is on one coin. I think what they're going to do, allegedly, my opinion, not investment advice, don't sue me, is the debt will get so high that Americans get fed up. There's so many people in the streets just going crazy. There's so much uncertainty. They're taking to the streets. You have right versus left. You have rich versus poor. You have people that are for AI, against AI. Just all this division that they roll out one coin. I got it. One coin. One coin. But the problem is, then you're going to wipe out the banks, and the banks will not want that to happen. That's it. It'll be interesting what happens in the future. Very, very interesting what happens in the future. And one place I would not want to be is Australia. Oh boy.
Yeah, we're pretty far away from everyone. Us in New Zealand are just out in the middle of nowhere. We could, I guess we'll just go to South Korea or China, need be. We have a good military. We're kind of like the United States, but not the United States. See, here's another one. Just shut down on me. Are you actually thinking? Are you actually thinking? Actually, that's a good idea. Going into the games. All right, boys and girls, we got to do the feature request. There's a bunch of bugs in here. Bunch of bugs in here. That interactive games and challenges. Okay, you already put that in there. That is in progress. Send notifications to browser. There's things in here that I couldn't do. Okay. Actually, I should just do a test one. New feature. Let's go with test. Let's go to submit. Oh, gotta put that in. This is, okay. Let's go to open. What does this do? Does it actually repost? Share it to your feed. Let's see if that goes through. Test. Let's see if it has a 1 next to it. Okay. Now let's go to the profile. Where the heck is my profile? Oh, there we go. Wow. That's way too many things in the left. I gotta consolidate that. Okay, that's ugly. That's ugly. That's ugly. Let's go over here. What I noticed, there's two types of people that are doing the vibe coding. The people that are entertainers and just trying to make money from any means possible. And then people who actually are doing it for the love of whatever they're building. Like, I think the bridge mine guy is up there. And then other people are, see, it's just thinking. I have to tell it to continue, or else it's just gonna sit there in purgatory. It's like, brah, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Huh? What are we doing? Let's go over there. All right, so this was, why is this a thing? Is it working? Is it working? Let's bring all of these up here. Join that up there. And then bring this up here as well. All right, test signing up. Yeah, we gotta make sure that signups, because I was getting a lot of people that said they couldn't sign up, but the weird thing is they're already members. So how can we make this post better? This is essentially the repost from the feature request button icon on this page. Let me put this page in. How was everybody's weekend? On this page to my profile. Yeah, this weekend was a turning point. If you are not consistent, then it's so easy page button on this page. Okay, right here. It's so easy to go 2 days. You cannot go 2 days. You cannot go 2 days without doing something. The gym, whatever, doesn't matter. All right, let's see if we can delete it. Delete. It should be live though. I don't like that it's not live. Oh, it didn't delete. Okay, that's a bugaboo. That is a bugaboo. Also, the delete does not work. Does the edit work? Test two, save. Okay, edit works. Copy link. Let's see if that works. Okay, that should work. We need test feature. I edit in this, by the way. I edit in this. So now we can see what's going on. Let's see the analytics. Let's see if the admin has its own admin note. Okay. Aaron dropped that in. Let's see if I can upvote it. Oh, that's a weird... Oh, that's upvoting the comment. Okay, good. That's fine. All right. There were so many bugs. I guess it fixed. Huh. Yeah, I don't know why the tags are there, though. That's weird. Let's see. Does this delete? Internal error. There we go. All right. This goes into this. And then this as well. So the delete here also doesn't work. All right, let's go like this. Because I know what's going to happen. I keep this up. I keep on yelling at the camera. I keep on putting out articles, putting out videos. There will be, because people are so hungry. Would your website include different APIs and you can AI models talk to each other to get good answers? Mr. Miller, would your website include different APIs and you could make multiple AI models talk to each other to get good answers? Play softball on Friday and dug some holes with my 80-year-old father. Dug some holes. Wow, good. Dude, enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's kind of amazing. The core issue reads, okay. Make sure that the previous job was actually completed. See the screenshots. The delete button does not work. Yeah, it was kind of amazing. I was thinking of a story. My dad, when he was, after his funeral mass, the priest came up to me. He's like, your father was like Joseph. He's mentioned 3 times in the Bible with no speaking words. I was like, huh, that's interesting. I've never heard of it that way. And this is the example. We were down in Baltimore, and I had a deli sandwich, and that was like a big deal back in the day. It was like, oh my gosh, deli sandwich. I'm like, Dad, I'm going to eat half before we go into the Baltimore Aquarium and half when we come out. And I'm the whole time I'm like, yes, I can't wait for this deli sandwich because, we didn't really, like a deli sandwich to me growing up was a big thing. We'll just say it that way. And I get out, my dad goes into the trunk and I'm thinking he's going to give me the deli sandwich, and a deli sandwich on Long Island is like this big. It's like 14 feet tall. It's just, you call it, give me the kitchen sink. That's what it's called. Essentially, it's lettuce, tomatoes, you got onions, pickles. It's just like everything, just kitchen sink. That's what you say. With turkey and cheese, jalapeno cheese. He takes it out, and I'm like, where's he going? Walks across